Have you guys ever heard that if parents would just teach their children to know the Lord and live godly lives, that they will never reject or depart from their faith? Now, this is a hard urban legend that we're going to try to tackle. We're going to see the misconception in it. For many godly, caring parents have guilt for their child or their children that have turned away from the Lord. And this misconception that we're going to dive into, this urban legend, comes out of Proverbs 22:6, which says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." Now, first things first, what is a proverb? A proverb is a concise and wise saying that communicates a piece of advice about life, often passed down through generations within a culture. Proverbs are typically brief, easy to remember, and offer human insights and behaviors and moral and just practical wisdom. They often draw on common experiences or observations to convey their message effectively. Proverbs exist in virtually every language and culture, reflecting the shared wisdom and values of societies around the world. For proverbial statements reflect a general principle as just how life works, but these principles do not always prove true. And since we live in a fallen world, there are exceptions to the rules. Many of you may know this old English proverb: "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." Now, we all know this. And it isn't completely true, because then if it was true, every single one of us would be eating an apple every day. But this is a good reminder just of the importance of fruits and vegetables within our diet. Now, Proverbs 22:6, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." Now, the word child is the Hebrew word ner. This word is used many other places in the Bible. And to give you the context of age it's used for an unborn child in Judges 13, a newborn child in 1 Samuel. It's used for Isaac as a young boy in Genesis. It's used for Joseph at the age of 17 in Genesis 37. And it's also used for Joseph at the age of 30 in Genesis 41. The word ner is not a certain age, for this word is used to give reference to any. It's also to give reference to men being allowed to marry in Genesis 34, or for them to engage in warfare in 2 Samuel, or even to act as spies in Joshua 6. The word is used abundantly because it fits a wide array of ages and application. For these are not even all the instances where the word is used. So the use of the word in this proverb is not just designating a specific age, but merely stressing just the importance of proper parental influence for helping the child get started in the right direction. And that is very important. I used to think that Proverbs 22:6 gave optimism. For even if you train up your child and they turn from God, even when they are older, there's a chance they may come back to God in the future. But this proverb has no prodigal child reference. For out front and center, the proverb is telling us, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. But like this, we talked earlier, these are not promises or absolute guarantees, for these are simple, wise words of wisdom. Lastly, when we are raising children, we should and are responsible for training our children in the way of the Lord. Parents alone have the greatest influence on their children. And we should be doing as Deuteronomy 6:5-9 states. "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children and shall talk of them when you sit in your house and when you walk by the way and when you lie down. And when you rise up, you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. Now, a comfort that I have that is even the perfect father still had his children, Adam and Eve, rebel. And God does not want to force us to do something. He wants us to freely choose him. So each one of us has a choice. The same with our children. As they grow and mature, they are the ones who are responsible for their own faith commitments and moral choices. Similar to the 10 virgins in Matthew 25. They took their lamps, and only half of them were prepared, and only half had to leave and get oil. While they were gone, the bridegroom came, and the 5 with oil got to go in with the bridegroom. This is where we cannot be banking on using someone else's faith to get into heaven. We all have our own choices. And as parents, we need to make sure that we are planting seeds in our children's lives, that they choose to follow Christ. But ultimately, it is the child's own profession of faith that saves them alone. So any questions, comments, comment below and we can continue to help, guide, and equip one another. Just as Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. So join us next week as we dive into yet another one of these urban legends in the Bible. Until next week, may God bless you and equip you for the great commission that lies ahead.